Hey everybody, it's Dave Mattis with RE/MAX of Reading and the Dave Mattis team, and I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time. I had received an article from a newsletter from an organization called Real Trends, who does a tremendous amount of research for the real estate industry here in North America. And they had created an article called 7 Reasons Why We're Not in a Bubble. So I had been talking about this with colleagues and shared it with one of my networking groups. So I wanted to do a video on it just to kind of throw it out there to you, get your thoughts on it. And I just wanted to sort of preface it by saying, this is not gospel. And, by all means, we are, in a real estate cycle that is going to change. But the real question is, and it's a huge, huge question that's on everybody's mind, is are we actually in a bubble like we were in 7, 8, 9, and so on? So I'm just going to kind of throw out a bunch of points that kind of, lead you to the idea of this article that says we are not in a bubble. So the first one is just straight up low inventory. So this is just this market that we're in is just being driven up by the fact that, people are not moving. In March, we had 1.07 million homes on the market, and that was, first of all, down 28% from the previous year. And then compare that to 2007, July, where there were 4 million homes on the market. So big difference there. So that's low inventory. The second one is just lack of supply. And everybody's been talking about this for quite a while. Lawrence Yun, the chief forecaster for the National Association of Realtors, has mentioned this over and over again, that we are 4 to 5 million homes short of actual supply in the United States. So that is due to a lack of new construction that has occurred over the last 10 or 15 years. It's just brutal. So favorable demographics. So this is a good one that kind of leads you to think, well, there's a lot of buyers out there that are going to, that are going to continue to want to buy homes, and therefore demand will remain pretty high. So nearly 5 million millennials will be turning 30 this year, and similar numbers coming in 2022. So again, significant amount of those folks are going to be looking to buy homes and condominiums, and that is a big change from the market from just 5 years ago. And as you know, the market's been climbing steadily during that 5-year period. So millennials are expected to actually continue to drive the nation's real estate market for the next decade. So there you go. Based on that, a bubble seems unlikely. So return of international demand. So here in Berks County, we do have some of this, but not nearly as much as some areas, maybe larger metro areas, maybe shore areas and stuff. But there's a lot of buyers from Canada, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East that purchase properties in the United States. And that obviously went away because it was so difficult during COVID. But guess what? Those folks are back. So again, huge influx of foreign capital, which means more demand. Low mortgage rates. We've been banging the drum on this for just a number of years, and they are still really good. I'd say probably typical 30-year interest rate right now is about 3%. Will they get to 4? That's what we're hearing, in this sort of fluctuation of up and down that we're experiencing. Probably they will, but that is still historically an amazing interest rate. But just keep in mind that if you're able to purchase a home at 3% and then rates go up to 4, you do lose some of your buying power. So, but anyway, that just sort of speaks to the fact that that buyer demand will remain high because interest rates are phenomenal. Tight credit. So credit practices these days, as far as people getting mortgages and getting approved for mortgages, are dramatically different than they were in 2007. You've all heard of the no-doc, no income, no asset loans. There were also a ton of bad credit loans that were given, and they were adjustable, and they adjusted to super high rates, causing people to say, well, hey, why should I bother with this payment? I'm just going to let this house foreclose. So totally different story. And if you ask anybody or any one of our clients, getting a mortgage isn't really that easy. It's probably the most painful part of the process because lenders are just being a lot more careful than they were. So number 7, greater equity. So this is, an exciting thing, and that is just to say that, if you do own a home, you now have more equity in it than you ever did. So there's just a position of safety, for a much higher percentage of people. So 1 in 3 of the 55.8 million mortgaged homes in the United States is equity rich. And the definition of that is that they had loans of 50% or less of the current value. So that's pretty awesome. So on the other side of that equation, just 2.6 million mortgage homes were considered seriously underwater. And what that means is that the combined loans on that house are 25% or more than the actual value of that house. So that, sort of speaks to the fact that we've all, our equity has grown, therefore creating a safer position for many, many people. And therefore, it's less likely that we're going to have this massive flood of foreclosures. I know we're going to have some foreclosures and short sales and stuff due to the, the quarantine, the pandemic, and so on and so forth. I'm not, saying that's not going to happen, but we're talking about, is there going to be a bubble where things just go up, 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 and then all of a sudden the bottom drops out? So all indications say, no, that's not going to happen. Are interest rates going to rise a little bit? I'm sure they will. Will there be a balancing? Yes, there probably will, but the hope is that it will be gradual and not a bubble. So yeah, we're in a cycle. Real estate market, it's clear to go back and track it. It's gone up and down over the years and will continue to do so. But the hope is that based on all of this data that we are not going to see a bubble. So I hope you found this informative. It's pretty long today, but I wanted to get it out there. If you have any questions about your house, your community, your value, etc., reach out. We'd love to talk to you.